Big up, big up, big up. Good morning, guys. It's your boy, Mark, and MUFC fan. And you know what it is? Smash those likes and subscribe. It's a little bit of a morning view, morning update, guys. You know how it is, a different vibe when it comes to Mark, and I do my things a little bit differently. Everyone covers what they cover. I cover different views where I think people are missing out on. So I just wanted to bring up to everyone, you know what I mean? As you know, Amorim has been unveiled to the press. He's been speaking. He had his first interview, of course, yesterday. I tried to cover it, but I didn't do a good job of it, and I got a warning. So I'm not going to play the video today because I already got a warning on that same video, but I wanted to discuss some of the things that Amorim was talking about and bring to you guys the attention some of the injury boost and players that might seem to be beneficial, what's happening. You know what I mean? We're not going to dictate who's going to be the starting 11 guys, because I think realistically that should be up in the air and open and determined by the manager. And after we see a few games of the players that he selected and what they're doing, then maybe we could start talking about who's making the cut in January, who might be sold, what's going on. But there is some talk coming in about some players that might possibly be on the chopping block to leave in January and in the summer. Let's see how it goes, guys. You know, we did discuss last night about a few options, a lot of the players that we will be interested in. But the biggest thing is that, you know, for two of those players, it's not possible before January. And everyone's pushing a narrative that we're going to get them in January, but it's not possible. Quenda is not 18 yet, unable to sign the youngster. So we're going to have to wait a while. We're going to have to convince him, do a good job of that so we can secure him for next summer. Also, the same thing with Victor Gyökeres. Unless we're going to spend 78 million, guys, I don't think we're going to do that in January. So the reports on Victor Osimhen, guys, I would take a step back or take that with a pinch of salt. That's just one of those things what I'm looking at that's like, it sounds really good, 30 million and Joshua Zirkzee for Victor Osimhen, but wouldn't you guys prefer to have a Victor Gyökeres? I don't know about you, but I think Victor Gyökeres much suits the way we want to play much better and would cost us 20 million less than it would cost to get the likes of Victor Osimhen. But guys, it's all about what you think. Big up to you guys coming in. Big up to Hayden Pro in the building, and big up to Frankie. What's good, buddy? Hope you're well. Hope you guys are enjoying your mornings. You know how it is, Manchester United. The new manager is here and everyone is excited. Big up to you, Roberto Antonio in the building. What's good? And, you know, got some little announcements. Guys, tuning in. There's going to be lots of FIFA streams coming to the channel. Of course, you know, I've been recently reappointed the head coach of Reckless United. So it's going to be an interesting situation. You know, there was a draft. There's some new players in the team, but the team is looking strong. So let's see how we can go, because, you know, we got to get to Division 1. You know what I mean? I got to do a Ruben Amorim, more like that. You know what I mean? Bit of more, put your arm around the player, let them know, hey, we are building something here, and show the fans an idea. That's what I think I'm going to do. Big up to Nikhil S in the building. Good evening to you, buddy. I know it's evening where you're at, and it's morning where I'm at. Flip side of how things are and the time zone. Now, guys, big training boost for Manchester United. As you can see, Kobe Mainoo, Alejandro Garnacho, they are available. Ruben Amorim had his first training session yesterday, and there are lots of reports coming in and about the training session. A lot of the footballers, the members of the team, senior players, Casemiro, Marcus Rashford, all of them, very positive remarks from the crew about Ruben's first training session with the lads. And Casemiro and Marcus Rashford can see the benefits of not being called up for international duty, as they have been able to partake in the training sessions, guys. You know, there's some players who did take part in the training session, 11 of them to be exact, and he took the opportunity to promote several players from the academy to join the training session. Kukoki, who a lot of the players were talking about, you know, I know Hayden, you were talking about him, and he was also part of the training sessions under Amorim. Meanwhile, it's going to be interesting as Rashford might be having to compete with Rasmus for a lineup in the striker role. A lot of people have been talking about it. Of course, I have mentioned it last season, play Rashford at striker, and everyone says he's better off the left. Suddenly now with Amorim, he's back to let's play striker again. Marcus Rashford this season, is he going to come out in an interview and say, I don't want to play off in the middle, I want to play off the left like he did last season? I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't, because you know what? I think sometimes for some players, there comes a time when you just have to listen to the coach and do what the coach expects. And that's what your job is. And you know what? Maybe it might be for the benefit of Marcus Rashford, guys. I don't know how you guys feel, but big up to all of you. Big up to LT in the building. Big up. I think the January transfers will depend on Amarim's assessment between now and January. And that is also my thoughts, LT, because 100%, you know what I mean? All the worst ETH signings should exit with the deadwood and the less motivated. Well, who are they, Lumen? Because technically, from the standpoint that I look at, you know, if you want to say Anthony, I think Anthony's going to be promoted to a left back, a left wing back, or a right wing back, because he has the ability to go forward and come backwards defensively in the capacity of what a wing back is expected to do. So I won't just say he's deadwood. And there's a lot of players who Ten Hag did buy, and they are all possibly going to be core members of this team. So it's a weird one, Lumen. It's a weird one. Who are the worst signings of Erik Ten Hag? Mason Mount? Well, apart from me, everyone thinks that Mason Mount is going to thrive in this new system. So where is the bad signings that Ten Hag made? Which ones are they? Lisandro Martinez, people would like him to possibly be an option for captain. Casemiro has been performing well in the last few games. People are not mad at him anymore. So who is the bad signing? Joshua Zirkzee? Well, last I checked, Ten Hag did not want to sign Joshua Zirkzee. I did not like the signing as well, but the club still signed him. So which one of the signings are we talking about? That is the question I pose to you, Luman. Let me know in the comments. Of course, you know, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I just want to know what are the signings you think that Ten Hag made that were flops, in my honest opinion. I'm beyond excited for something fresh and new. Well, Nikhil, I think that's everyone, not just you. You know what I mean? I did back Erik Ten Hag to the hill. You know, I felt that he needed more time. But at the end of the day, guys, we also discussed that if the structure decides this, then we're going to go with what the structure says. So from my perspective, what I can say, guys, is that, yeah, you know, it was the time. And we were so lucky at the time when we fired our manager, who was, I would say, the best at the time when we signed him. We were able to now fish the best manager at this current period of time coming through football and bring him into the club. And he has a great personality, guys. He's been speaking. He said to him, Manchester United is one of the greatest clubs in the world. And he also was saying that, you know, I did the tour with this guy, and he's very, very knowledgeable on Manchester United. And he gave me the feeling, and I remembered the great history of this club. And I feel like all the players and members of the staff members of this club who come to work here, everyone new, needs to take an annual tour just to refresh themselves so they fully understand and grasp the greatness and the majesty of Manchester United, the history of this great club. And he said the only way players and staff and everyone could coordinate well is by one thought, one idea, one vision. And to know this vision, you have to know the history of this club. And he also said that players should be inspired by the history of Man United just to play for the club at their best, to give their best. They must know why Manchester United is Manchester United. They must know, and they must appreciate that. And if they don't, then maybe they may not be the best options for Man United players. And this was said by our very brand new manager, Ruben Amorim, in his interview recently, guys. So it's one of those things where I look at it from a good perspective. Like, Amorim speaks from the heart. He has an ideology that I could get behind, you know, because I also believe that players need to be inspired from the moment they put on the shirt and not the other way around. I don't think anyone should be inspiring players who are already at Manchester United. They should be already inspired and motivated just putting that kit on, walking out onto the touchline. You know what I mean? So that's just my opinion, guys. The Ipswich game will be very intriguing. We need a win come on, Ruben. 100% Hayden Pro. We're definitely going to be needing a win against Ipswich to start this off the right way. Of course, you know, the last time when Erik Ten Hag came in, He lost his first game. He got battered. So it's going to be an interesting situation. I hope these players can trust the new system and trust that they're doing the right things and work hard. Because most importantly, no amount of tactics can work if the team does not give 100% of their effort and focus into executing their tasks. LT is saying, Anthony was used as a right wing back at training yesterday, so let us not write off anybody in the short term and let Amorim choose who he feels doesn't fit and not what we think as fans does not fit. Now, LT, this is why I like you, my brother. You know what I mean? You get it. I get it. This is how we feel. This is, as fans, this is the message that I'm trying to put out to everyone right now, because I don't want anyone to be grossly disappointed in anything. I don't want anyone to feel frustrated by selection or frustrated by a decision that the manager makes. What I would say is that he's new. He has his own ideas. We need to get to know him. And the only way we could get to know what he wants, what he likes, what he thinks, is if we just keep our minds open and receive the information for the next 10 games. I know everyone will want to be critical. They will want to make criticisms of the performances of players, of the manager's selections. But I think for the first 5 to 10 games of a new manager with a new system that's just coming into the Premier League, we should be more receptive and understanding than critical, because we really don't know the guy. Of course, we know what he's done at Sporting Lisbon, at Braga. We know his philosophy. We have an idea of what he would like his teams to play like, how he would like his teams to play. But he has to get that job done and that message across to the players. They have to get used to this. They also have to execute this right. So, guys, trust me, from the bottom of my heart, I'm trying to protect each and every one of your mental health, guys. Don't stress about what he does in the first 10 games. Just learn from it. Learn who he likes. Learn who he decides. Learn who's the players that are getting the most, who are performing. You know, look for the players who are performing well consistently. Look for the bad performers and just observe and see if the manager's changes comes, because January is coming, guys. The winter window will open and we will bring in 1 or 2 players, and you might see 1 or 2 players walk out the door as well. So with that said, guys, I'm not saying don't have your criticisms, but I'm saying, you know what I mean? Let's learn the manager's style. Let's learn which players he fancies. Let's learn all these things before we start, you know, imposing what we thought on the team. You know what I mean? Big up to you guys. Big up to Frankie. It's a definite win for United. 4-1 United in Ruben's first game in charge. Frankie, I was going with 5-1. So, yeah, bro, I know it's going to be a big scoreline from somewhere in the back of my mind. I'm mostly definitely looking forward to going to OT this season. 100%, bro. 100%. Rashford up front might cook until summer, then we sign Gyökeres. That's going to be interesting. For players, until I see a different, no one gets a pass. That, Charles, 100%, bro. Big up to Ray Carl Brown. Love the training video. Let's see what the head coach does for me with Amorim. I'm not bothered who he selects. Just win games and play good. Big up to you, Ray Carl. Story saying, I'm so glad 10 is gone. I take a ammo wank 10 times each morning. Man, you made me read that, bro. Oh, man. Bro. Big up to you, story, bro. Good morning, my friend. I hope you are well. Thank you. I have to say thank you for that. I didn't expect that one. You know what I mean? So big up to you. I checked out some of the trainings. You know what I mean? I'm going to be there for a whole week, so I'm going to be looking at some of the different things, you know, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. It will be mostly interesting, guys, to see how the players react to adversity. You know, if it doesn't go well, how they reorganize and keep themselves focused. You know what I mean? Big up, Ray. I also like the video as it showed that he already starting how he wants to line up and teach the players the system. I think it's interesting. Yeah, of course I'm at the Glint game. I'm at the Glint game, bro. I'm not missing that. We talked about it. Europa nights, we're there. You know what I mean? And next year it's gonna be UCL nights. We will be there. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro, I'm going to the game, bro. If you can still grab a ticket, bro. I think there's still some cheap tickets. If you want, you should be able to grab a ticket. We will be there. Of course, Ray Carl is saying he's there, so I guess we'll probably be meeting somewhere around 5 at the Bishop's Blaze. Get a few drinks, and then we'll go into the stadium around 7. So, Leah, come through if you have some time, bro. Pop through to the Bishop's Blaze. We can have a few. You know what I mean? Don't forget to hit the like button. It helps the channel grow, guys. And thank you so much for all the support. Don't forget, guys. It's a new channel. We're still growing. Much to be done. Much to be added. A little bit more stuff to be improved on. And I will be trying my best to do that every week, guys. So big up to you guys for coming in. Now, guys, Kobe Mainu. The likes of Kobe Mainu, young Alejandro Garnacho, as well as Lenny Yoro. These are some young players that might be seen as the new core of this new team under Ruben Amorim. There are some reports that are saying that young Chido Obi Martin, as well as Sekou Kone, as well as the likes of young Kukoni, are going to be fast-tracked into the senior team to provide training to help them get up to speed at a much faster rate. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how he does this and how this works out, guys, because as you know, I'm a huge fan of paying attention to the youth players in Manchester United. We have an amazing crop of youngsters coming through. There's the likes of Shea Lacey, very talented left attacking midfielder who I think is going to thrive in that left attacking role. I think he's going to play right behind the striker under Ruben Amorim, or might be dropped deep in a midfield role. Let's see how it goes, because this young talent, he is very good. The likes of San Mather and Ines, these young players play off the wing. They're good defensively as well. So I can see them falling into wing-back options. You never know what could happen. So it's one of those things from my perspective, guys, that I'm really excited to see where this takes us, how Ruben develops this team. I am willing to give him the patience and the time, especially this season, the rest of the season, to get it right and get himself and this team prepared to hit the ground running next season. As long as he focuses on his identity, he said, I'm going to give you an identity. I'm going to show you an idea of how we want to play, right? I demand intensity from my players. I expect 100% effort and determination. I expect them to give them all every time they walk out on the pitch. These are the words of our brand new manager. He seems to be a very well-rounded guy. In my honest opinion, he's very intelligent. The way he speaks, the way he thinks about things and the way he articulates himself, I respect it a lot. What I can say, there's going to be a lot of changes. The likes of Dan Gore Jr. is going to make a sudden return to this team. I can see it now. You know what I mean? Toby Collier has gone missing. Maybe he's not good enough. Goodwill will be in the first team. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it happens, because what I would say to you, Hayden Pro, is that don't underestimate the rise of Dan Gore Jr. I'm telling you guys now, Dan Gore Jr. partnered Kobe Mainu in the youth team that won all the FA Cup and stuff like that. Dan Gore Jr. is a brilliant player. He is the type of player that shies away from nothing. He's very good on the ball. He's very energetic. He is like a young Paul Scholes, guys. Trust what I'm telling you. Don't worry. Just remember, I keep telling everyone about Dan Gore Jr. Just remember that, guys. You know what I mean? Big up to LT coming in. I'm also excited to see how he develops Mainu and Euro. As I saw him, I've been living talks with Mainu during training. Euro, Mainu, Ahmad, Garnacho, Hoyland are immediate future to build around. Well, I think Ahmad has a little bit more. How could I put this? He's not in their bracket, to be honest. Ahmad is turning 23 in like 6 weeks or something like that. You know what I mean? Big up to Stephanie in the building. So to be fair, what I would say with Ahmad is he has to deliver more. He has more of an onus to actually have the output, present the output with his performances. That's the stage where Ahmad is, because unlike the other youngsters, he is not he's not a teenager. He hasn't been for almost 3 years now. And the difference also is that besides Lenny Yoro, who hasn't really kicked a ball, he's the next most expensive one of those guys, because we bought him for 40 million euros 5 seasons ago. 4 seasons ago, my bad. Sorry. So it's one of those things, guys. So he is definitely going to develop Ahmad. Ahmad has to also have the responsibility for himself to give his best, do his best, and to work hard. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, the manager can develop you all they want. You have to do it on the football field. The same with Garnacho, the same with Kobe Mainu, the same with all the youngsters on the team. Rasmus Højlund, you know what I mean? The only difference is that these guys have a little bit of time on their hands, a little bit more than the likes of Ahmad. You know, I mean, Lenny Yoro has just turned 18. He's 4 years younger, or almost 5. So it's the same thing. So it's one of those things, guys, where I look at it from the perspective that we have to understand that all these young players need time. They are different players. Some of them might progress faster than others. So we need to look at them from different, slightly different perspectives, and not just in the same that, Gamma, they all have to do this or do that. They are different stages. So we have to give them a little bit of respect on that. And you know what I mean? Big up to everyone watching. 8 likes, 17 watching. Come on, guys. We can at least get to Garnacho. You know what I mean? He's on the screen, for crying out loud. The number 17 is there. Smash the likes for your boy, Marken. Come on, guys. I like Dangor. I think he should be in the team, but is he up next? He was supposed to be up next before Toby Collier, but he was on loan last season to I believe it's not Barnsley, is what's the name of that team? Burton, I think it's Burton Albion or something like that, not too sure. But he was on loan last season and he got an injury. So he came back from loan injured. He spent the last 5 months recovering and recuperating, and now he's back training. And he has been putting in some stalwart performances in the U team, in the under-21s and in the under-18s, bringing them back from the brink of defeat in two games to winning positions. And being the man of the match, I think it was something like 5 games in a row. So it was one of those things where I think, he is next up. He is just on his road back to getting to that top level, ready to come to make the step up to the first team. And it's a funny thing that, Stephanie mentions Xerxes, because like I was saying last night, there are some reports that Joshua Xerxes could be finding himself moving to Juventus. And there are some also reports that, Joshua Xerxes not having the best time at Manchester United currently, but what can I say, guys? The Premier League, it's a harsh place. Sports is a tough world. You know what I mean? It's not like that nicety where people, you're based on if you're liked. It's based on mostly on your merit and how you perform, that people like you. Now, one of the interesting things that I would like us to look at is, the advent of the change in some of the situations of some players. We've seen the improvement of Christian Eriksen in the last few games. Some people would say that he's almost undroppable. But if you look at Christian Eriksen, do you guys think he's going to be that same player under Amorim? He might be expected to play a slightly different role. Maybe he might get in that second 10 position behind the striker next to Bruno. You never know what could happen. Or will Ruben say, you know what, I don't want to start using you. I would like you to be moved on and move in January. It's going to be interesting because there are lots of reports around the Danish international. He has been putting in some stalwart performances for his country on international break, but it's looking like he might be the first out the door in January because, I don't think there's a place for him in the Ruben Amorim's team. And that's not because he's not a top-class player. It's possibly because Ruben wants to focus on the youth and the future of the project rather than depend on a stopgap. Let's see how it goes. You know what I mean? Of course, there's a few other players who've had some brilliant performances while on international duty. The likes of Nusa Mazraoui was having a blinder playing for his national country of Morocco in their 7-0 annihilation of Lesotho. So it's one of those interesting things. Nusa Mazraoui, of course, he's been one of the best players of our season so far. What I would have to say is he was a top selection. Lots of people weren't sure about him, but he came in and he proved everyone wrong. And I think everyone needs to, just take an example from Nusa Mazraoui, especially the players in the team. If you come into Man United, you just got to do your best, put your head down and perform, and the fans will love you for it. You know what I mean? LT is saying, I also like Amorim's comment on the first team by not saying they need time, but saying that they are ready That's why they are here, and I believe that I will give them the confidence they need. He did say that, LT. You know, the interesting thing is, I do agree with him saying that, and you know, the funny thing is that he has he has an immaculate control of the English. You know, it's almost like he speaks English almost as good as he speaks Portuguese, which is a far cry from Eric Ten Hag. And the way he says what he says, he might mean similar things to Eric Ten Hag. In fact, he could be saying the exact same thing, but the fact that he delivers it in a different fashion, you know, it makes it more pleasing to the ear. It gives it a different context. You know, it allows you to understand the situation a slightly different way. You know what I mean? And I think that bodes well. And I think that will be one of the key factors that might make him successful at United, to be fair, guys. Many United fans do not know how good Euro is. He's a super talent, best defender in the French league at 17, got it all, first player on 100% story. I told people about this guy. I've been talking about Lenny Euro for almost a year and a half now. Since our second season in the winter window, I was telling people we need to sign Lenny Euro. This guy is a talent. This guy has it all. He has the drive. He has the ability. He has the mobility. He has the talent. He has everything. He's the perfect specimen. You know, he can, bro, this guy is really, really so good that I don't know if fans know how lucky we are that we signed him. You know what I mean? Because this guy is going to probably be one of the best defenders for the next 10 to 15 years. I guarantee it, guys. Because he's got everything. The guy was in team of the season in League One at 17 years old. The first defender selected on the team sheet was this guy. They even had a different formation just to start this guy. That's how weird it was. Normally, the French league team of the season is 4-2-1-2. You know what I mean? So it's like interesting stuffs. You know what I mean? Big up to Hayden Pro in the building. We keep getting linked to Colo at PSG. Bro, I don't think you really want me to answer that question because I actually think Kolo Muani is a waste of time. I would never even look at him as a player. I don't think he's worth it as a striker, to be fair. He was a flop at Frankfurt. I saw him play live. My buddy has a season ticket for Eintracht Frankfurt. That's his home team. And I'm telling you, this guy is a fraud. He is a fraud. Kolo Muani is a fraud of a player, bro. We should never go near this guy. Højlund is better than him. I'm telling you now. He's getting a lot of tax because his name is Kolo Muani. But other than that, he's not worth it, bro. Yeah, bro. Nah, this next one, Jackie, I think Shaw needs to go. I think Shaw should be the next player walking out the door in January. I would certainly take 15 million for him. 15 to 16 million pounds I would take from anyone. Just come get him. And you know what? I would take that money and I would finance the purchase of Alvaro Carreras Fernandez. You know what I mean? Bring him home. Start him at left wing back. Time for Shaw to move on. It's been 10 years. This is season 11 currently, and he has not kicked a ball for United. Why would you still want to see this guy? He plays less than 25 games per season for the last 10 years. Come on, guys. That's just mad. He's played less games than Anthony Martial did. And Anthony Martial was only at Man United for 8.5 seasons, guys. Come on. Eriksen is an intelligent, adaptable footballer. Going to be interesting to see how he's used on the Amorim, if he's used at all. Yes, Stephanie, that's one of the interesting things. You know what I mean? You know what? I like Varane, and I respect what he's done in world football, but I think Euro at his age is twice better than he ever was. I'm being so real and honest with you guys. When Varane debuted at Real Madrid, he was nowhere near what Lenny Euro is. I'm telling you. He was not in the team of the season in League One. I can tell you for free. You know what I mean? Varane was good, but Lenny is a phenomenal youngster. He's like a phenom. He's like a defensive phenom, like a generational defensive talent. That's what he is. You know what I mean? Varane is amazing. He was. And I remember when Madrid signed him, but he was not as good as Lenny Euro was. Nowhere near. He's not it. He developed into that amazing player, but hopefully we can develop Euro into that as well. Amorim has a knock for taking failing clubs and turning them into powerhouses. Top four is most definitely on, in my opinion. I don't think it was ever off, bro. You know my mindset, bro. I always thought that we were gonna end up somewhere near the top four or in the top four this season. I never thought for a second that we were going to be relegated and all these things because, position in the league before the first 20 games is relative. It's not that drastically, especially when the points difference is less than 2 wins away. So it's one of those things. It's one of those things. You know what I mean? This will be Sean Rashford's 5th permanent manager. Stephanie's already talking the truth. I don't even have to say it. The 2 most senior players in the team, everyone talks about Bruno. Bruno has been here 5 years after these guys. These 2 guys and Delo have been here longer than Bruno. Longer than Bruno, guys. Lindelof has been here longer than Bruno. I mean, I think Ahmad and Bruno came in the same season. If I'm not mistaken, or maybe 1 season apart, I think, or half season apart. But yeah, I think they came in. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's a weird one, guys. You know what I mean? I just think that these players that we have, some of the youngsters, we need to give them the time to develop, and some of the other players that they have that we looking at, they might not be so different from the players that we have coming through the academy. Like I talked about Quenda. When I talked about Giovanni Quenda 3 weeks ago, Sporting had not played Man City yet. No one knew who he was. No one knew he was that good. I told man he's a good player, but he's not that much better than young Ethan Williams, who plays in our academy. He's not better than Shea Lacey in the sense that he's older than Shea Lacey because Shea is 16. But you know what I mean? There are lots of talent in our academy. So spending 84 million to get a youngster like that, or 60, 70 million when we could possibly develop one in our academy. Yeah, guys, it's going to be long. Big up to Joe Blackman in the building. Big up to you, bro. Thanks for the good look. Hopefully this time I don't get sacked mid game. You know what I mean? That one felt a little bit harsh. You know what I mean, Joe? My ego took a hit there, bro. We were having a good winning streak. You know what I mean? But big up to you, buddy. Big up, broski. You know what it is. Guys, it's not a long one, and definitely it's going to be a good one. And I'm thanking you all for joining me this morning. Of course, guys, don't forget to check out the Reckless Delegation. I believe Joe Blackman is live this morning. I'm probably going to jump in and have my say as well at some point. But for what it's worth, guys, stay patient. Keep your minds open. The team selection is coming. We're not going to know who's the starting 11. I would stop surmising who's going to start here, who's going to start there. And I would just say, let's see who starts and how they perform, because I think that's really where we are at right now. Ruben Amorim, we know what he's going to bring to the table. He's already gives us his promises. We're going to see an identity, we're going to see an idea, and we're going to see his style and his system. So he also said we can't transport one reality into another. So this is just to keep you guys grounded on the fact that, yes, there are possibilities we could play the style of football that we see at Sporting Lisbon, but we might not get it right from the day one. So it's going to be a work in progress, and we need to be patient. Some of the players that we think are outcasts might become starters. Some of the players that are starters might become fringe players. You never know. There might be a whole shakedown in the squad. We have to be prepared for it and be open to it, because you know what, guys? In my honest opinion, if everyone who was at the club for 5 years pre-Ten Hag is sold, I'm happy. I'm so real. I'll be happy. You know why? Because it gives you a chance. And it gives us a chance to do something new, something different. Move on from the past and move forward into the future. Ruben Amorim is here, guys. And you know what it is. It's Manchester United. Hated, adored, but never ignored. You know what it is, guys. Big up to all of you joining. Big up to Manu Tata in the building. Big up to Hayden Pro. Big up to LT. Big up to Frankie. Big up to Stephanie Griffith as well. Big up to you, Jackie. Don't forget to smash a like on your way out. Don't forget to share it around. Big up to Nikhil S as well. You know what I mean? Big up to Ray Carl Brown and Story. Big up to the Reckless one in the building. Hope you guys have a great morning, Luman. And guys, I will catch you later. I will be back at 1:20 UK. You know what I mean? We have a little bit of transfer news coming in, so I will be dropping the transfer mark today again at midday. We'll be talking about some different things. But until then, you know, bye for now. Big up to you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you all later on. It's been your boy, Mark, an MUFC fan, and you know what it is.
Baby.